Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog, and we got Shaedon Sharpe's first ever preseason game last night against the Los Angeles Clippers. The Trailblazers ended up losing, I think, 97-102, and we got 15 whole minutes of Shaedon Sharpe, and this isn't going to be your standard video. I'm just going to throw this out there, okay? A lot of people are gonna go with this like, oh, he's gonna fucking hate on Shaedon Sharpe the whole time. No, that's not true. Not for this video. I will say this, there were things that I liked because I saw improvement, and I wanted to talk about them. I am gonna talk about the bad things, okay? I'm not gonna let him off the hook, but there were some things that I was like, okay, like he's at least listening to people. So, the first half left a lot to be desired. He played a whole 4 minutes and 48 seconds in the first half, and I'm going to be honest, it was kind of a train wreck, if I'm being honest. His teammates weren't looking for him. It almost looked like when he checked into the game, his teammates were like almost refusing to pass him the ball. There was plenty of times that he was open and his teammates either missed him or just didn't pass it to him. There was two instances in particular where it was like Jusuf Nurkic looked right at him, and instead of passing Shaedon Sharpe the ball for an easy layup, he took a contested floater. And then there was another time where I think Anthony Simons was cutting across the paint cutting across the paint for a floater, and Shaedon Sharpe was like wide open right next to him, to the left of him, and he didn't pass him the ball and took the floater. And so there was that. It just seemed like they were avoiding him in the first half, and on defense in particular in the first half, it was kind of a horror story. He was ball watching a lot. I even tweeted it. I was like, Shaedon Sharpe has a serious case of ball watching, and what I mean by that is he was paying more attention to the ball handler than his man, and he was leaving about 8 to 10 feet, and I would say even more, about maybe even 15 feet between him and his defender on defense. There was a couple instances where it was like his guy was wide open on the three-point line. Had his guy caught the ball, he would have been able to shoot it. And there was even one instance where the guy did catch the ball, he did shoot it, and he did make it. So off-ball defense in the first half, in particular, the first half was not good. Okay, it wasn't good. It was horrendous. I hated it. Okay. The on-ball defense, however, on Reggie Jackson in particular, was very good. And this is where I can say the scouting reports that I've read on Shaedon Sharpe, and from what I've seen, the idea that when he's engaged, when he's locked in on defense, on ball, he can commit. He's capable and can actually get it done. Because Reggie Jackson, I think it's fair to say, was trying to drop him the fuck off. Okay, like every time Reggie Jackson got the ball, he was trying to beat Shaedon Sharpe to the basket. He was trying to shoot threes in his face. Okay, he did that like 3 or 4 times before he stopped doing it because he realized he couldn't get past Shaedon Sharpe. So I will give him a golf clap for that. It was good. Okay. That in particular was the one thing that provided me a little reassurance. I'm like, this motherfucker, when he wants to play, he can play fucking defense. So I like it, okay? I'm happy with that. Now, there are some other elements of that on-ball defense and even the off-ball defense that need some serious improvement, but it was nice to see that when he tries, he is capable of doing it. So that's the first thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the second half. Because the 4 minutes and 48 seconds in the first half, his teammates weren't looking for him. I mean, it looked like he didn't know where he was supposed to be on the floor defensively or offensively, and that was consistent throughout the entire game. So, I mean, that's something that will just change as time goes on. But yeah, first half left a lot to be desired. However, after that first half, he did sit down on the bench next to a particular player in Nasir Little. And instead of sitting all the way at the end of the bench, Nasir Little made him sit down next to him. And Nasir Little told him, like, hey, you can't be leaving your guy open, 15 feet. You know what I'm saying? I get it, you're an athletic freak, but you can't rely on your athleticism to get there in time, okay? You need to provide at least an arm's length or just slightly more on your man, okay? And in the second half, my man's fucking did it. My man Shaedon Sharpe came out and was on his man like fucking white on rice. I mean, it was great. I was like, wow. Shaedon Sharpe listened to Nasir Little, and I was impressed. I'm going to call it what it is. I was impressed. He got a very nice block in the second half, okay? That athleticism showed up. There was a couple moments where he displayed his athleticism, and you could see even in the second half as the game got going, he looked a little more comfortable. Granted, seemed like at some points he was maybe getting a little too comfortable as far as, cutting to the basket all the time after he did it like once or twice, but it was nice to see that. It was like, okay, like he's... it looked like you could tell he started to feel like one of the boys, because the end of the fourth quarter, okay, you could tell there was some shit talking going on, and it was getting competitive, So I liked that. But when it comes to the second half, Shaedon Sharpe still, like I said, struggled with off-ball movement. That's another thing I really look for him to improve on. On offense, Williams, I can't think of what his first name is, but Williams, the point guard for Portland, had to direct him most of the game in the second half. Like, hey, this is where you need to be. You can't leave your man open. You can't do this. You can't do that. If I'm being honest, everybody on the Portland Trailblazers roster last night looked like they understood what they were doing, except for Shaedon Sharpe. And that's expected. He got injured in Summer League. He didn't play in Summer League. I understand, like, he came back and who knows how long he spent in training camp. But it's just the idea, like, I'm not going to hold that against him, because everybody else has had significantly more time to adjust than Shaedon Sharpe has. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But his shot selection could have been a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but... I watch him and I'm just like, I'm not sold on his ball handling, to be honest with you. I mean, in transition, even in AAU and in high school, Shaedon Sharpe turned the ball over 31% of the time in transition in high school and in AAU. So it just goes to show in transition, he's more, because his handle is not where it needs to be, he tends to turn the ball over in transition. And for a fast break type player, you need to improve that. Okay, we didn't see much of it last night because he was, basically trying to catch lobs and get open and so on and so forth. But in transition, in particular, he's going to need to get better at that. But last night, I will say this. There was one moment that really bothered me, was that he cut to the basket when, what's his name? Williamson. I got to get this name right, man. I just got to do it. I got to get it right. I feel like what's his name? Williams. It's Brandon Williams, okay? When Brandon Williams was cutting to the basket, Shaedon Sharpe cut to the basket at the same time. And because Shaedon Sharpe decided to cut to the basket and Brandon Williams cut to the basket, Shaedon Sharpe essentially got in his way. And not only did Shaedon Sharpe get in his way, but he brought a second defender. And it caused Brandon Williams to miss the shot. Granted, Brandon Williams got fouled and got 2 free throws out of it. But it's just the idea, like, you can't be doing that, okay? You need to understand the playbook. You need to understand where you need to be on defense. It'll come, okay? Like, that's, for me, I'm like, after watching this game, I'm like, okay, there's something there. It'll come. But I think it's safe to say after last night, Jabari Walker looked a lot more NBA ready than Shaedon Sharpe did. I mean, the 57 pick looked better than the 7 pick last night. I don't expect that to continue to be the case, but it's a very likely possibility. That we head into the NBA season where Jabari Walker looks better than Shaedon Sharpe. I will say this, Shaedon Sharpe, definitely, I was just happy to see improvement. I was just happy to see that, Nasir Little said something to him about his defense, and in the second half, he cleaned it up. The on-ball defense, like I said, looks great when he's engaged. I worry, though, however, because I've seen it in AAU and in his AAU tape, as much as I don't like AAU tape because of the lack of defense, I noticed in his AAU tape, whenever his team's getting blown out, he has a tendency to just let his man score. And you cannot do that on the NBA level. You cannot do that when Chauncey Billups is your head coach. If you want to continue to play in the NBA and you want to continue to get minutes and continue to see minutes and get time played on Chauncey Billups' team specifically, you are going to have to play defense. So if Shaedon Sharpe can continue to play on-ball defense the way he did last night against Reggie Jackson, I like it. It's great. I definitely think if that continues to be a trend, there's something there. But yeah, his feel for the game looked very skittish, and as time went on, you could see he was just getting a little more comfortable, and that's good. But I'm not entirely sold. You know what I'm saying? There's still things that I need to see him improve on. I honestly, to me, the Shaedon Sharpe pick just doesn't make sense for the Blazers. That's just my opinion, though. But if he can, come into his own pretty quickly, I really think he's a 3 to 4 year project. But if he can be a 2 to 3 year project, or maybe even a 1 to 2 year project if we're lucky, it could go the way that Blazers fans want it to. I was a little worried after seeing the high school and the AAU tape that he's not this amazing player. We saw the athleticism on display last night. There's a lot more I need to see before I'm really convinced. And you know what, man? And just for reference, so people understand what I'm saying between high school and AAU versus college, look at where Jabari Walker is. Okay, and look at where Shaedon Sharpe is. Okay, Jabari Walker played in college, Shaedon Sharpe didn't, and Jabari Walker looked a lot better than Shaedon Sharpe last night. But I have faith. It's just Jabari Walker looked more NBA ready than Shaedon Sharpe did last night, and rightfully so. Jabari Walker has also had more NBA time than Shaedon Sharpe has. But I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Love to hear your guys' opinions on this. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.